Okay, here we've got a Makita UC3541A 240 volt chainsaw, as in one that you plug into the mains. Customer says that the chain brake feels strange, or that he can't move the chain manually to sharpen it. It does feel very stiff actually. Probably shouldn't do this without gloves. Oh, it really feels impossible to turn actually. Oof. God, almost sliced my finger up. I wouldn't recommend you do that at home. That was quite close. Just literally shaved off a piece of skin. So we're going to take it apart, and my plan is to change this piece, which is the chain brake. Oh, the chain brake was on move, that's why I couldn't move it. Let's try again. I'm going to get some gloves. Couldn't be bothered to find any gloves. I got some. I got a towel instead. Let's try and move this. Oh, it does move. It moves backwards. Let's try and move it forwards. Oh, again, it does move, but it's quite hard. Let's take it apart and see. Start off by taking the chain and bar off. Little quick removal system here. Okay, then we got this little sprocket here, which is held on by some kind of clip. And my experience with these is that you want to make sure it doesn't fly off when you take it off, because you can lose them. There we go. So that's a little clip like that. Yeah. And then just go ahead and prise it apart. And half the shell comes off. Okay, then what have we got inside here? You've got the trigger and the electronics for the trigger. You've got a noise suppressor. That is an electronic noise suppressor, because the motor in here is a universal motor and it can be quite electrically noisy. So you've got a little filter here. Obviously this is the oil tank, because although you don't need any fuel, you still need oil to lubricate the chain. Take that away. And what have we got under here? Okay, so if we look at the chain brake mechanism, now it's on, as in now it's braking. Now it's off. And there's a little micro switch here that obviously gets turned on and off when you brake, so it cuts power to the motor. And then we've got this gear here that takes the power from the motor to the chain. And under here we've got the oil pump. So you saw that the oil was connected in. The oil tank was connected here. And so as this turns, this is a little pump which turns using this little, what do you call it, a worm gear here. So it turns the pump, and the pump pumps the oil up out of this little hole here. And that hole corresponds to these holes on the bar. So that means that it doesn't matter if the bar is upside down, because you've got two holes for the oil to come out. Okay, and then we can go ahead and remove this. And before I remove that, I'm going to remove the trigger. Okay, pull this up. Okay, that section comes away, and then we're left with the motor. Spins freely in there. And this round circle here is the surface that the brake is applied to. So the brake literally brakes the motor on the motor and stops the motor from turning. Okay, if we look at this, we've got the brake band here, and the brake band goes to the holder, which is spring loaded, and that's that nice spring feeling that you get when you use the brake. And then, this is quite interesting, the trigger, this went off to the trigger. This can be, when this is pulled, so it loosens the brake band. So actually, when you're rotating the chain, it would be a good idea to pull the trigger, because that opens up the band. So that could be by design that you can't move the chain. I'm going to go ahead and change this anyway, but that was quite an interesting discovery. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Just look at this. So you've got a screw holding it on here. Take the screw off. Take a screwdriver, flat screwdriver, if I've got one here somewhere. Any screwdriver. And then you can just pop the brake band out. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to start by placing the brake band here, and then pulling on this bit of metal that went to the trigger. I can pull back that section and push it into place like that. Okay, so now if you can see this, this pin that sticks up here is to the left of this hook on the brake band, so it's hooked over the edge, and when I pull this, that pin moves. Okay, and right now this is sitting a little bit wrong, so I'm just going to push that down so it's underneath that hook. Oh, and then it just popped in. Okay, so now it's in place. So now I can put the screw back in. If I had taken this section apart, when I put it back together, I would need to use some pliers to just rotate this so that it pushes this back so that it will go in the hole there. Just be aware of that if you remove this section. Okay, now we want to put it back on the saw. Okay, so if I just try now to just fit this on there, it's not going to work, because this brake band is too tight to fit around the dish here. So what I need to do is, as I put it on, pull on the trigger so it opens it up, and you feel it slide on nicely. In theory, I'm not sure that did slide on nicely. Okay, that was the problem. So the brake has to be in the non-brake position. Okay, and I could tell when it was in flat, correctly, because this section here was flat with the hole, and also if you look underneath, the adjusting screw is in line with the hole as well. So let's whip that back on. This has got a little hole here that this hook goes onto. Puts that nicely in there. And then it was the oil. So you can maybe put the oil on first. No, it goes on there. So that just slid up onto the hose connector. Okay, everything seems to be in place. So we can put this back on. And now we can feel the action of the brake. Sounds pretty good. And start to screw it together again. Still haven't learned my lesson and worn gloves to handle this. You can maybe just tighten that up a little bit. That's pretty tight anyway, to be honest. Okay, let's see if this moves any more freely. Oh, I need my towel again. Oh, is the brake on? No, the brake's not on. No, it feels the same again, but this time, what if I pull the trigger? Yeah, oh, you have to pull the trigger when you're moving it. Wow, I learned something new today. And so did you guys, I guess. Job done.